except for Ben, is to make a citation that you can use as a model citation for everything else that's going to appear in your essay. So the thought here is that if you have one citation done perfectly, the only thing that's going to change between your second and your third citation is the author's last name, the title, and the page numbers. So if we can all have a perfect one in the next 5 minutes, it's just as easy as copying and pasting and just changing a couple of things. Make sure you go last name, comma, first name, period. Title of the essay, period. Title of the collection, comma, edited by, the guy's name is on the front, publisher, Bedford St. Martin's, year, the most recent year listed on the copyright info, page range of entry, period. Make sure for your page range of entry that repeated numbers go away. So if your essay is on 267 to 269, you'll say 267 through not just 9, because the 2 and the 6 are repeated. If you're looking at Ben's, is that you, Kai? Yeah. Okay, you're making sure that Ben's are perfectly formatted. Ben, you have Kai's, right? You're making one for Kai to use as perfection. Okay, got it? Go. 5 minutes. You have one done now? Ethan, you have one done? Linda, you have one done? You have one done? Cole, do you have one done? And Mr. Brown, do you have one done?
Yeah.
All right. So everyone, let's look at the citation you have. And again, just double check because this will be a stupid thing to lose points for. This is all about just following directions. Ben, pick an article.
In the name of love.
In the name of love. Who wrote that? Okay. Tokumitsu, comma, Miya, period, quotation mark. In the name of love, period, quotation mark, 50 essays, comma, edited by Sam Cohen, comma, Bedford/St. Martin's, comma, 2017, 2017, comma, PP, period, and then what's our page range? 396-402, period. There are a number of people in the first class that ignored this last period. So now we all have one official citation that is good to go.
Just FYI, you're on the Spartan 300 YouTube
Oh.
channel. Just so you know.
Just great.
I was going to talk to you yesterday, but I forgot.
I know. I noticed that. I noticed that yesterday and forgot to change it. So I'm just going to link to this.
All right,
anyway.
perfect.
All right. So are we good to go there? We have one. And just do the same thing. Again, the only thing that changes, first and last name, title, and then page range. Now, let's talk about formatting your jams to make sure that it's good to go. On your annotated bibliography, for it to be MLA style, this needs to be on the left-hand side, top left-hand corner, and then you'll have last name and page number on the upper right-hand corner. So top left-hand corner, everyone right now. So top of your page, left justified. You type your name, and it's double-spaced. Teacher, Mr. Lindenberg, double-spaced. Course, capital W, capital R, capital I, capital T, space 1201. Then you have the due date. No surprise, this is going to be due on Friday. We're only going to make it through MLA stuff today. We'll do annotations tomorrow. So the due date will be March 13th. Now, when you're typing that in MLA format, you go day, month, year. So 13 space March space 2020. Or if you're going to be the abbreviation person, you go 13/3/20. Mr. Branch.
Of course, you said right one.
WRIT, all caps, space 1201. Okay, now you also need to add a header. The easiest way to add a header is to, let's just open up a Google Doc. All right, so in order to add a header, so right now I have Lindenberg 1. Before you type anything in your header, go to Insert, and then go to Headers and Footers, and then go to Header, and then you want to go to Options, and then click on Page Numbers. Numbering, start at 1, show on first page. And then you click Apply. That will give you a page number on the top of all your pages. Next to your page number on the first one, then you just need to type your last name. So that mine says Lindenberg 1, Rybecki 1, Krogman 1, Greener 1. And once you do that, your header is taken care of. So make sure you have your header inserted and correct and in the right spot, top right. Make sure that you have this information top left.
Yeah.
Yes. Now below the due date, you put the title of your paper. You learned on Monday, the title of this paper is going to be what? Annotated bibliography. If this was just a works cited page, your title would be what? Works cited. If this was a research paper, like you're going to write near the end of the year, your title will be whatever the title of your research paper is. All of this is double spaced. So that means that the space between due date and title is no greater than the space between title, course teacher, teacher name. All of it is double spaced. Got it? Raise your hand if you need more time to format this business. Brilliant. Hey, let's go hang out with your citation. Now, again, you learned on Monday that when you create your citation, you have to have a hanging indent. So the first line in your citation is justified with the left-hand margin, and then below that, how far is this space supposed to be? Anyone remember? Half an inch. Okay, now, anyone also remember, is anybody going to be checking out with a ruler half an inch? No, it's just as long as they're consistent, you're fine. There is an easy way to do it, though. So if you go to your Google Doc, let's pretend like day 2. Let's pretend like this is a citation right here. Okay, so in order to navigate my citation and create the hanging indent, I put my cursor right there on the second line. So you all do that now. You have your first line of your citation, your second line. Does anyone have a citation that goes 3 lines? Oh, so it's on the second line. You get your cursor, and she's blinking. Then you go to Format, Align and Indent, and then Indentation Options. You get a screen that looks like this. Indentation Options, Special Indent, Hanging. And you can see it sets it automatically to half an inch. Apply. And ta-da, you have it. Success. So that is how you format your citations so that you have a hanging indent after the first line. Does that make sense? Do that to your citation right now, if you haven't already. Now, or does anyone need more time? Better question. Okay, now, if I double space this, pretend this is my citation and this is my annotation, would this be correct? Why not? Right. So I would have to, in order to make things correct, I would go backspace, and then I indent the first line, and then I would double space this whole bad mamma jamma. Where's line spacing? Here we are. Line spacing double, and now I'm good to go. And so again, notice that the spacing between the end of my citation and the beginning of my annotation is not different at all. With me so far? So we have the top part, we have our citation figured out. Now, this is where you need to be reading somebody else's annotation. When you're reading somebody else's annotation, right now, I want you to press Control F. Same time. You get a little box that's blinking up in the corner. In that box, I want you to put one quotation mark and then hit Enter, or just one quotation mark. What this will do right now is that it will highlight every quote that the person used. Right now, we're making sure that our in-text citations are formatted properly. So when someone is using a quote in a text, what you need to do is look to see if they're using the author's last name. If the author's last name appears immediately before or in the same sentence as the quote, then you need to make sure they have parentheses, page number, parentheses, period. No punctuation happens right here. Otherwise, you're not formatted correctly. If they have a quote in a sentence and no last name is used, you need to make sure that we have parentheses, last name, page number, parentheses, period. Just a space, no underscore, no period, no PG, no nothing. If you have a quote that spans multiple pages, you would go 67 through 68 period. Some people have ... in the beginning or at the end of their quote. That never happens. Remember, if you're using a quote, let's pretend like this is my quote from a story. And I want to use this part of the quote right here. So I have my own sentence, and then I'm using this quote. Even though I've cut the quote out of the middle of this sentence, the only time I ever use a ... is if I cut something out of the quote that I'm using. So if I'm using this whole thing, I'm just going in quotation marks. If I cut something out of the middle, I use ... to signal where something got cut. If I changed a word from like hang to hanging, so I'm adding something to the quote, I put that in brackets. And again, my parentheses go at the end of the sentence. So if I continue writing, my citation, my in-text citation is going to happen here, always at the end of the sentence, never in the middle of a sentence, unless you have works by the same author in two separate places. It's not something that's going to be happening to you here. So go through all of their quotes. You press Control F, you can see them all. Make sure their in-text citations are done properly. If you have questions, raise your hand. Let me know. I'll be delighted to help you navigate through it. And then once you're done with that, you have time to continue working on your essay. Tomorrow we're going to talk about your annotations. I think that's all that we have to go through today. You guys got done much quicker than the first hour, so congratulations. Yep, last name, page number. That's for another class. All right, so that's that. Mr. Rybecky? Is it?
Like a question, kind of just for me, but I guess it can help everyone.
Sure, ask him.
So if you have like a quote and then you like end it, and then later in the sentence you're kind of like quoting something else they said, but you're not using it as like your main evidence, you still need to add that footnote, right?
Say that. Ask that question one more time.
So if I say, if I have my quote as my evidence for supporting my topic sentence,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the why and how, I quote something that they said just because I'm trying to say the same thing.
So you're re-quoting a quote you already used?
Well, it's like a different quote, but it's like not the main evidence.
Anytime you use a quote, you need to have an in-text citation.
Gotcha.
Also important, everyone up here for a second, anytime you paraphrase, you need to have in-text citations. So if you are paraphrasing the author's evidence or the author's point, let's say you say something like Steve Jobs says that doing what you love is the most important thing ever. That's you paraphrasing something that's going on. You would need an in-text citation at that moment. So we have in-text citations, we have your citations, we have your annotations, we have the hanging indent, and we have MLA formatting. That's the end of that.